Huh, you know, maybe we should take off. Doesn't look like anything's going on here.
Oh, Morty, no, we have to help people.
Oh my god, it's one of those facehuggers from the Alien movie! Holy crap, I think it's dead!
God, Morty, it died of toxicity due to all the drugs and alcohol swirling about in my system.
Wow, Rick, you know, they say don't do drugs, but I think this might be a case for him.
And alcohol, Morty.
Yeah, and alcohol.
Somebody get a memo to all the characters in those Alien movies, stat.
Yeah, no kidding. You know, I never thought I'd say this, but thank God you drink all those drugs and alcohol, you know?
Morty, you don't drink drugs.
Well, whatever, I don't know, I'm innocent.
Podcasting from somewhere in Central Florida.
Where is the bloody rum?
I see you tried knifey spoony before.
Let's drink some rum.
Rum is the power, rum is the key, rum is the thing that will set us free. Rum, rum, rum,
And nerdy.
rum, rum,
And nerdy.
Sit back, relax, remember to turn off your cell phones. For the next hour, let me be your Candy Crush.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rum and Nerdy. I'm Greg.
And I'm Garrick.
And this is episode 4.35, Cornbread.
A surprisingly deep Aliens universe reference.
Yeah, that's a deep cut. I didn't even know you had to explain this to me.
Wait, we're talking about all the... spoiler alert, we're talking about Aliens Romulus this week?
Yeah.
Or Alien Romulus. I'm going to get it right.
Yeah.
It's Alien Romulus.
Let's check the IMDb.
Hey, you know what, listeners? We're going to be talking about the new Aliens movie this week. First thing we do is look up the name on the internet to make sure we say it right. Yeah,
I already had it up. Yeah.
Alien.
Zero prep podcasting done wrong. We prepped. I prepped.
You did slightly.
Yeah, for a couple conversations, but I
still said it wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But you corrected yourself. You did not need to be corrected.
I know. I always say it wrong. It's like when people talk about the show Ink Master and they say Ink Masters. It's not. It's fucking Ink Master.
There can be one. Only one.
Singular. Exactly.
Yes.
Anyway, Cornbread. It's a kind of running, not gag, but it's a reference in the Aliens universe that it's bad.
Somebody early on in the franchise did not like it and put a reference in there, and it just carried on, I guess.
It did. They had one of my favorite things about this movie are all those little art department nods or story nods or dialogue nods to all of the past movies.
Lots of little things.
And one of them was the freaking Cornbread. So, boom.
Are we going to spoiler alert? Or we don't need the look. We don't need the sound. We're talking about this, right? So,
okay. So
see the movie or don't.
Spoiler alert yourself. Yeah.
Boom. Okay. Yeah, that's as official as you're getting it for this one. So here's it. Just you should have seen it. It's a couple weeks ago, right? So screw off. Anyway,
yeah, we have the leftover episode in the can. So there was, oh shit, that came out this week. There's like an extra bonus week.
Here,
sorry about that.
And we always are like, hey, we're gonna get ahead, and then we don't get ahead.
Yeah, and the one time we get ahead, it makes us untimely for this movie review. Anyway, Alien Romulus, go see it. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. You know, was it the best one in the franchise? No, but it kept up with the themes.
It was better than 4.
Yeah.
Alien, Dynamite, just a classic feature film of sci-fi horror. Aliens, was that James Cameron's directorial debut?
I don't think it was his first one, but...
Did Terminator and then that? Either way, it's one of his more earlier movies.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Just crushed it right out of the gates. Movie's fantastic. Alien 3, little divisive in the alien communities. There's a lot of people don't like it as much. I enjoyed the mystery. I thought it was gritty. The art direction, the style, everything. It's fantastic. Alien 4, I thought was hot garbage. Was Alien Resurrection?
Yeah, that was the one with the baby alien human hybrid that got sucked out the window.
And they cloned. Yeah, like the production value just wasn't there, and it felt comic booky. It honestly felt like the Batman Forever being tacked on to the Batman Returns, and then it's like,
yeah,
didn't like it. Prometheus was great. Alien Covenant was great. I like all the stuff they're doing with the series. Alien Romulus goes back. It's basically the twin sequel to the original movie.
Yeah.
So there's two divergent paths. There's Ripley's path, which we got to see in Aliens, and then there's the Aliens path, which we get to see in Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
And it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it kind of fit in there, nuzzled in there really, really well. So here you go. Cameron's directing career began in 1978 after borrowing money from a consortium of dentists. He learned to direct, write, and produce his first short film.
Sorry, was there a comment in there?
Yeah.
A series of dentists.
Then consortium of dentists,
comma. Then he learned to direct. He didn't direct dentists. Is where I was going with that.
No. And it was a short film, Xenogenesis, in 1978 with a friend. So, I mean, when was Alien?
Alien was 79. Aliens was 86.
So he after his short their short in 1978, he was a production assistant on Rock and Roll High School in 1979, and he was soon employed as a director for the science fiction Battle Beyond the Stars in 1980. He carried out a special effects for John Carpenter's Escape from New York in 81, and served as production designer for Galaxy of Terror in 81. Then on to consulted on the design for Android in 82. He was then hired to the sequel of Piranha 2, The Spawning in 82, and then directed Miller Drake, and left the project due to creative differences.
I mean, let's be honest. When it comes to James Cameron's filmography, his work on Piranha 2, I think, helped define the genre.
Yeah.
Nothing? You're just going to agree with that? Fucking Piranha 2? Have you seen Piranha 2?
No.
No one has. It's Piranha 2.
So,
the movie's slightly worse than the original Piranha.
Okay. So, settle down. I'm sorry. What the hell just happened?
I don't know.
Are we at now?
We're at now. I think it would have been really funny if they had named that movie Piranhas.
Well, I'm trying to catch up here. So he, in 1984, he wrote the script for Terminator, a sci-fi action film about a cyborg. Well, we know what that's about. And so it went from there. So I think his big breakout was that. So what year?
Was Terminator.
Yeah.
Aliens, I think, was 86.
In 84, he was hired to write a sequel to First Blood.
Second Blood?
Just Rambo First Blood Part 2. Because the first movie...
The funniest name to a movie ever.
Okay. Anyway, after he wrote First Blood Part 2, then he went in and did Aliens for 86.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. He did a lot of fun. If you ever see like a James Cameron documentary, he did a lot of fun art department type work.
Yeah.
And he has got some great stories.
I got a good story.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. So a buddy of mine, Dave, I should reach out to him soon.
Not Demo Dave Pro.
No,
.com.
different Dave.
No.
So this was a guy named Dave that I met when I worked at the Terminator stunt show at Universal.
Okay. Which was a fun stunt show.
Oh yeah. And this was like right when that opened up at Universal in Orlando, like back in like freaking 97 or whatever, 96, 97.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave was great. He was just a goofball guy, but like made little short films with his camcorder, like great, fun, energetic guy, all the right energy.
Yeah.
Everybody loved him. Moved out to Los Angeles and was just doing odd jobs. Last time I talked to him, he was doing camera work on various like lifestyle stuff, right? So, but he was a runner for some special effects companies and just, odd job stuff helping out.
Mm-hmm. Runner is about the oddest of jobs you can get.
Yeah, just running around doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So as the story goes, he was, because he was at this, helping out with this effects shop doing some test stuff. Because in the Terminator franchise, Judgment Day was like August 27th, 97 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
it was very, very specifically 1997.
Yeah. So he was out there early on in 97.
Mm-hmm.
And one day he like took this piece of scrap aluminum that had been jaggedly melted, cut off a corner of something.
Okay.
It was just a piece of scrap.
Yeah.
And the place he was at had these little stamped dies that you could do stuff.
Yeah.
And he hammered in James, this is the resistance from the future. Please be warned. Judgment Day is in 2 weeks. Whatever.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Make sure that you're out of the city. Blah blah blah. So he hammers in this note of characters, and then has the skin shop there do a latex skin cover over it.
Okay.
And then tears it open, and then just dabs just a little bit of blood around the edge, and then frames it.
Oh, that's cool.
And he never got to meet him, but apparently, he knew Cameron's assistant because he was always delivering dailies and stuff.
Yeah.
Back before everything was online.
Yeah, back when you had to actually hand somebody a videotape.
Yeah. So apparently he was like, hey, I don't know, if you feel comfortable with it, I made this thing, whatever. And apparently he was like, holy shit, I forgot. He didn't as the story goes.
Yeah.
Again.
He forgot that it was Judgment Day.
Yeah, and I might have forgotten half the details or gotten the story wrong, but it was kind of like that, where he made this thing. And ultimately it comes down to James Cameron is I work with his hands, kind of get into his elbows with this stuff.
He's very much an art, one of his early art department stories is he had zero budget. He had $500 to make a hallway for a spaceship or something crazy, and he's like, how the
Probably
fuck?
for that xenomorph thing, whatever.
No, you know what he ended up doing is he went to a local McDonald's. This is back when McDonald's had the styrofoam containers, and he got a whole bunch of containers for just Big Macs and chicken nuggets that had the little inlay pouch. Remember back in the day with the styrofoam containers with the little sub pouch and the thing for the nuggets and the anyway, he opened them up, stapled them to plywood, and spray painted them. Boom, there you go. There's your alien corridor.
Yeah,
it was okay.
That's fantastic.
But he
he's a maker. He's a tinker.
He built all that
basher.
shit by hand. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Anyway, we're digressing. Jesus, that thunder in the background?
That's thunder, yeah.
And lightning?
It's either thunder or your neighbors are throwing a industrial dumpster off of the roof.
Yeah. They could be dragging one of the trash cans down the street upside down.
Oh, could be
that. Those plastic dumpster.
Or pushing it with a bulldozer. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
it might be a thing.
Yeah. Oh, one of those. I'll look at a couple.
Yeah, that's exactly
anyway,
right.
Back to Alien Romulan, or what? I'm just kidding.
Romulus.
I know, just kidding.
It's close though, because they had Romulus and Remus, and aren't those the two fucking planets from the Star Trek universe that the Romulans are from?
Romulus? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but there's Romulus and Remus, the two, because the Romulans had that moon that had all the freaky looking Romulans that orbited it. Whatever.
I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
I don't remember. I just kept wanting to make a Spock joke, when one of the people were stuck behind that door with the little window. It'd been great if one of them put his hand up on. I've always and will always be your friend.
They did that in Deadpool.
Yeah,
that's a great Deadpool joke.
Some good throwback reference movies recently. Anyway, back to.
We're going to be lucky if we get through a single thought on the fucking Alien Romulus movie before we
run out of time.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, so we're back to talking about the show 14 minutes later. So that's fun. Anyway, so we liked it. There were good references in it. My favorite thing was the art direction. They really did CRT monitors with that chroma key green letter. The big chunky clicky keys.
This takes place before Aliens. It's closer to the Alien universe, but they matched all of the big mechanical keys, the CRT monitors, all of the stuff is all Alien. So it felt like they made this movie in 1980 immediately after they made the first one.
Yeah. Yeah,
which I love when they do.
Yeah, and really do it well. They didn't try and we're gonna CGI up this up over here. If there was CGI in there, and I'm sure there was, but a lot of this was in camera.
For the sets, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they did this on the volume or anything. It's it was really good stuff. Art direction, and even the intro, the intro. Because it was outside in space and this ship collecting this rock and blah, blah, blah. Almost dead silent. No music.
Yeah.
and it plays back to that in space. No one can hear you scream.
It's just fucking creepy.
Yeah, and then all of the intro credits were so basic, like a bold Arial font.
Yeah.
Just
like they did with the original Alien.
Yeah. So just super simple, not more than it needed to be, and that dead silence is so creepy.
It is. It's Alien. The Alien franchise. It's my favorite sci-fi horror movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big, me, I'm not a big scary movie guy.
No, you're not.
But there's just enough. No. This is sci-fi. It's not bloody, gory horror. It's good old wholesome family fun.
Yeah.
Or something.
So,
do you remember the creepy alien dude at the end? The half human, half alien thing? Do you know that was just like a guy? The creepy, tall, freako dude. It was, here, I'm going to show you a picture. It's the world's tallest man. He's 7'7". And they literally just, hey, here's some face paint. Go be tall and freaky.
God, that is.
He's a weird looking dude.
He is. Yeah, he looks like a non-athletic basketball player.
When you see him in the movie, it was. Now, admittedly, there are he's in full prosthetics and all that, but he's crawling around and.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Bobrowski made his acting debut in Alien Romulus. Terrifying hybrid creature standing at 7 feet 7 inches. Oh. His imposing height and unique physique were crucial in bringing the character to life. Yeah, no, if you look that guy up, that was weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I do have the IMDb up, and I'm scrolling through the cast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like everybody did a great job. None of them were like flashy, super. A lot of them have done a lot of television, flipping through, like done some good work, but none of them are like really big, huge names yet.
There wasn't a single name in that movie that I would point to and be like, I remember that person.
Well,
except for CGI'd what's his face,
Ian Holm.
Yeah, which I didn't like at all. I felt like they phoned in the CGI on his face.
Well,
it really bothered me.
I might have been able to spend a little bit more money, but I still say, for what it was, I think they did an okay okay job. Yeah. And by the way, here's Trevor Newland, Xenomorph. Oh no, he was just in Xenomorph.
He's just a regular old Xenomorph.
Yeah. The other guy was called Offspring.
Yeah. Oh, creepy. No, but I usually don't pick up on CGI gack like that. Like, what was the Superman movie where they had to CGI off the guy's beard?
It was Superman, Doomsday or whatever.
One of those movies where we left the movie and you're like, his face bothered me the whole time because you could tell that they covered up his.
Well, it's just the post that ending that they reshot.
No, I thought there was a whole whatever. I didn't notice it at all. This, I did not enjoy it.
Golly.
Something about just his face, the way he talked, the way they did it's.
So,
not a fan.
What was your favorite thing, though?
My favorite thing, 2 parts. One is we got to see what life in that universe is like for regular people.
Yeah.
The way the filmmakers went at it were. Did you ever see the Aliens special edition? There's like a half hour of that movie that they had to cut for time because Jim Cameron makes really long freaking movies.
Yeah, I don't know that I have.
But it has Newt, the little girl, her brother, her mom, and her dad, and it shows life on the colony. It shows life on the colony prior to them finding the aliens, and it just shows them living their lives on this colony. And one of the aspects of this movie they wanted to investigate was like, hey, what would happen if those kids grew up? What is it like really living on one of these terraformed planets with, the atmospheric processors, blah, 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 all that stuff? That's what they did. So we got to see it, and of course, it's the doomsday '80s, rampant capitalism hellscape that they pulled off very well with the Alien franchise and Blade Runner and other movies like that. So anyway, getting to see that universe and getting to see those people, specifically those people, you're not seeing the crazy billionaires, you're not seeing the military, you're specifically seeing just these random people.
Yeah,
and that was good. But it was just so well. It was so well done. It was on the brink of being fan service. Like it was almost like if the fan service dial was one more notch to the right, it might have bothered me. But I mean, the beats felt good, the tie-ins felt good, the story elements felt good, the art direction felt good. Like nothing felt gratuitous.
No, I totally agree.
What was your favorite part?
Oh, the art direction. I had mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just how well they did in that entry scene. But, yeah.
Well, in general, yeah. No. Well, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Quick little list.
What's this a list of?
13. This is a list of, I think it's 13 Easter eggs.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Okay. So, first one.
Yep.
Not so subtle. Movie opens seeing the destroyed Nostromo.
Yep.
So that
And
if you hadn't picked that up, that's what that ship was.
It says it. Like there's a quite obvious piece of rotating garbage that says Nostromo on it.
Yeah.
That's almost less an Easter egg and more like just, hey.
It's a plot point you may or may not have gotten.
Yeah.
Easter egg number 2, of course, this is where they find the Weyland-Yutani crew finds the original alien, aka Xenomorph, that Ripley sends out of the shuttle at the very end of Alien. If you look closely, you can still see the harpoon stuck in its side.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see the harpoon.
I didn't see it either, but I knew that that's what they were doing. That's cool.
Yeah. Number 3, Alien Romulus. You can see the mother on one of the computers was it reboots, and you can see that it is an updated version because in the original it was the Mother 6000 and now it is the 9000.
That's cool.
So,
yeah, and Mother's one of those great tiebacks to the original.
Yeah. Yep. Alien 4 and Alien Romulus. Andy reveals to Tyler and Bjorn that he prefers to be called an artificial person, which is exactly what Bishop tells Burke and Ripley in Aliens.
Yep.
So there's that. That's kind of like a subtle thing, but
but there's a bunch of lines of dialogue like that connect them.
Yeah. Next, in Alien, after Kane's chest is ripped open in the iconic chest-burst alien scene, Brett notably builds an electric stun rod so they can keep the rest of the crew safe. In the new movie, Bjorn finds a similar tool and threatens to use it on Andy, and then uses it on an alien and several facehuggers. So, and that's, I don't know if that's necessarily, I wouldn't call that an Easter egg myself.
It's not. It's a clever nod maybe.
Yeah. Next is going to be, and this, we mentioned this, and that's the Ian Holm character. Biggest connection between Alien Romulus is Rain, Andy, and Tyler coming across Rook, the ship's scientific officer.
Hey, imagine that. They're still using the same make model of androids.
Yeah. Number 7, when Rook explains why he's on this ship, he says it has been 20 years since the Nostromo incident, which is how we officially know when exactly Alien Romulus is set. Aliens takes place 57 years after the events of Alien, which puts this movie right in the middle.
Yep.
And we kind of knew that too. We talked about that night. Number 8, when Rain, Tyler, and Andy come across the colony of facehuggers on the wall and the various cocoon of people where they find Kay, Andy says, busy little creatures. This is the same thing Burke says in Aliens when they come across a similar hive.
Yep.
Yeah. Number 9, and you mentioned this to me before, also the blue mist that Andy notices on the floor, similar to what Kane finds in Alien, the first one. Number 10, in Alien Romulus, Rook tells Rain that he can't lie about their chances of survival. In Alien, Ash says similar things after he's been revived from the Nostromo's crew and asks about the alien. 11, one of the best callbacks is when Andy uses the rifle blast and kills a xenomorph who's about to attack Rain while they are in the elevator shaft, and he says, "Get away from her, you bitch." That was a great little thing. Number 12. We're almost through this list. In Alien Romulus, when Tyler teaches Rain how to use the rifle, it's actually an earlier version of the weapon seen in Aliens that all of the colonial Marines carry. It's also reminiscent of a similar moment in Aliens when Hicks teaches Ripley the same thing. And 13, the last one, the entire final fight between Rain and the human-alien hybrid is seemingly in homage to Alien. Like Ripley, Rain is ready to put herself into cryosleep when she suddenly needs to fight an alien and jump into a spacesuit.
Yeah, that was one of those things where it's like, wow, these are very, very familiar story beats.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So no really surprises on that list.
No. But I mean, there's even, like there's the atmosphere processor machines on the planet, again, exactly the same as from Aliens. The cornbread scene that we had talked about earlier, sitting at the table, was one of those little moving duck perpetual motion machine things. Like Homer used to press.
Yeah, the
any
little
key.
thing that dips into the nose into the water.
Yeah. Little things like that. Little things like that. The movie was just filled with them.
So, when I looked at this list just now, the thing that I was kind of in my mind going like, okay, what I want to see is, the planet that she's like, I'm going to go in cryosleep and go off to this planet. If that planet, just because I don't remember all the planets and things, was the place that she was trying to go to, that ultimately was just her in cryo, that, was that an important planet in the lexicon?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time since I've read any of the comic books, so
yeah,
maybe it's referenced or brought up, but I don't believe that that's an important detail for you to know.
Yeah. I didn't see anything, but that's one of the reasons I was checking that. So anyway, kind of clears that up. Thank you, Alien and Aliens, and the whole franchise was great.
Oh, that was absolutely dynamite. I cannot recommend that movie enough. So,
yep. Moving on.
Moving on. Not that we stay on target ever.
No, squirrel. But something to bring up. This episode that you're listening to right now, episode. What is it? Episode 4.35.
Brought to you by the letter Q and a grant from the Carnegie Foundation.
Original air date for you is going to be August 30th of 2024, which is also the release date of the Amazon Prime's show War of the Rings for Season 2. So that comes out today. So we can't review it because obviously we
can't review it,
in the past. But we'll be talking about it soon. But I do want to bring that up because it looks freaking fantastic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really like what Amazon has done with all their stuff. So
I think, because it's not necessarily like a lot of episodes, but I think I'm going to put them on my iPad for this trip I'm taking this week, or I have taken at this point, and rewatch season 1.
Oh, that's good. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Because there's a lot going on. It's complex storytelling. So I think I'm going to rewatch season 1, and the next weekend I'll be ready to get into season 2.
That's not a half bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. That's why I thought about it. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. Obviously season 2 is going to delve more into Sauron, the creation of the One Ring, what's the word I'm thinking of with the other rings, where he kind of
the Coven.
No, Coven is not the right word.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where you're going with any of that.
The catalytic converter. No, it seduces. It that's the word they use. He uses the One Ring to seduce all the other rings. Yeah. So in one of the trailers, they kind of hint to like, hey, these rings are gonna, he's coming after these rings or whatever, and and it's mostly the human rings that are the ones that are the most easily corrupted.
Fucking human rings.
Yeah, go figure. I think it's a metaphor. Look at metaphor, guys. So, season 2 is going to look pretty good, and I'm excited about that. But you know what else? I'm really excited about Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah, and isn't this the one that like you didn't know about, or it wasn't on your radar?
I knew about it. I knew that they were making it, but it fell off my radar.
Fell off your
and
radar.
it was like I wasn't paying attention to a due date or anything else. I just knew they were making this other story.
Yeah.
Because much like Disney's doing, like, hey, placemaking, we can, and Tolkien wrote content that is now chronicled in like 20 some odd books. There's all kinds of stories in this timeline to go back and forth and tell.
Yeah.
This is just one moment. And so, this is a movie, a singular movie, 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's expected in December.
Okay. That's surprisingly close.
Yeah.
I saw a thing the other day where someone's like, 2024 feels like it went January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August.
Oh, no,
it's just the early part of the year just flew, and now it's kind of...
The last 2 months have just shot by. For me. Nice deep sip. Oh, you know what? We haven't rummed it yet.
What would you like to rum, Greg?
I don't know. What do we got over there? We got some... Let's add some Zaya Bumbu and...
Zaya Bumbu Zacapa.
I'll do some Zacapa.
It's like the three horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
What's we got here? Wow, that was surprisingly disappointing.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, while you're pouring that up...
I'll fix it in post right now.
That's better. Thank you, Zaya.
Thanks, Zaya.
For the sound effect.
And you know what? Just for science.
Bumbu comes to the rescue.
Bumbu wins Foley.
Yeah. And some of you probably think that we just have like that on cue just to make that sound. No. It is real every time for you. That's how much we love our listeners. Just authenticity.
That's live cork popping.
Yeah.
Cork popping goodness brought to you by Rum and Nerdy.
Yeah. Authenticity. So what do you know about this movie? About the storyline?
None.
Okay, you saw Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this will revolve around the writers of the Rohan. This is the writers of the Mark. These are the horse people.
The horse people, yeah.
This movie wraps around, so it's the War of the Rohirrim, and it takes place 260 years prior to the Siege of Helm's Deep.
Okay.
So Helm's Deep, the big keep that they hold off the Uruk-hai in the movie, and
the thing and the
elves and dwarves fight together and win the day. Sun comes up, and the Ents came and save everybody.
Once Gandalf the Grey comes over charging over the hill with the thing and the stuff and the
great scene. So it's funny. Helm's Deep is that keep that they're at is named after Helm Hammerhand.
Oh, not like William S. Helm.
No. And so basically, this is this takes place, 200 and whatever years, 260 years before that. So this is just this random thing.
Where they're building Helm's Deep, or is it still there?
No, at this point it's there. It's well, actually, I don't know what the timeline for that is, but this is basically just his side story about the current king of Rohan, which is Helm.
Okay.
And his daughter, and there's like, hey, this group comes in, hey, we want to do this alliance, whatever. Let's marry your daughter, the king's daughter, and my son. And some disagreements ensue. This is like the Princess Diary. I don't want to get married to him.
Mm-hmm.
And all hell breaks loose. And the war general, whatever, the guy that comes in.
The war general.
Whatever.
Is that an official title?
Shut up. Go punch yourself in the face for a little bit. Anyway, he comes in, and then so Hammerhand Like this guy hits him a couple times.
Such a stupid name. I'm sorry.
Hammerhand. Well, I think it's more of a nickname that he got from this instance.
Oh, does
So
he have a hammer? For
yeah,
a
this
hand?
guy who's like half his age and way bigger smacks the king around like, "How dare you?" Blah 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 blah. There will be war, and Hammerhand just punches him once and kills him. This old man king, whap, snaps his head, just dead, whatever. And then this is the war that happens after that. Largely, wrapped in around the other guy's son, Wolf, and he's the one that leads them and attacks Rohan.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like the Bad Batch of the Lord of the Rings series.
yeah, kind of. But because it takes a couple hundred years, it might be more the acolyte of
The acolyte
yeah.
of the.
Let's see if it makes it to season 2.
Let's see if all of the
Do-do-do-do.
neckbeard Lord of the Ring toxic fans
Yeah.
shit on it.
Anyway, so one of the more exciting things about this particular movie is that it will be animated.
We've never had animated content for the Lord of the Rings before.
Right. Yes, we know that's not true. But what's interesting is that the and I never say his name right. It's Kenji Kamiyama. Anyway, it's a famous anime director.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He oh god. He did the movie Akira. Remember, like
the Akira.
Yeah. So he did Akira.
The anime movie that may have set the stage, tone, vibe, and genre standards for all anime.
Yeah. So that was his. The Napping Princess. Like he's done so much. Ghost in a Shell, 2045.
Oh, wait, is that the original Ghost in the Shell or the sequel?
That was the TV series.
Oh, okay. The original Ghost in the Shell is also just fantastic.
Yeah. He did an episode of Star Wars Visions.
Which is also good. I recommend.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's the master. Like he's that anime master, and so super excited because he's the one that did this.
Very cool.
Looking at some of the animation, it kind of. I mean, it's definitely it's anime. It looks great, and it really ties to that. At the same time, in the old Lord of the Rings movies, there was the Hobbit movie, which was I think Rankin Bass did the Hobbit, and then there was the kind of rotoscope. They did the first movie, which the Fellowship of the Ring. They did it, and I don't remember who it was that made the animated Fellowship of the Ring, but they never made all of the books. They only made, the animated movie went for the Fellowship of the Rings went in partially into the second book.
Okay,
but it never made it all the way through, and they never made the follow up to it. But it kind of has some of the feeling of that. Much more refined and modernized, certainly in the anime genre, a lot better. But it's fantastic.
Huh. Well, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. And I'm nerding about it and stuff. That's just lovely.
I know you get on a Lord of the Rings rant.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Everyone has their thing.
Yeah. Doctor Who, whatever.
I know. I Doctor Who is 100% my like core nerd IP nexus thing. Like when you peel back all the layers of nerd and you just have like a Doctor Who core. Yours is quite clearly Lord of the Rings, and I think I think your nerd core is bigger than my nerd core.
Maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. It's funny because I'm sitting here looking at it. It says this is set 183 years before the events chronicled in the original trilogy films, which makes me go, it's like no, because the attack on Helm's Deep happened in Third Age 3019, and but
I almost spit rum out on the microphone.
I know but you have to remember that. Like the events of
do I have to remember
the events of the Hobbit happened like 80 years before because the Hobbit happened with Bilbo.
Yeah.
And he lived a long time, and Frodo was his heir. And then once he retired and disappeared, there was actually a pretty decent amount of time before Gandalf figured out exactly what the ring was. And they make it sound like, oh, Bilbo left, and the next day you got to leave.
Yeah, no, that was one of those things where, like, in the movie, Gandalf gets concerned, jumps on his horse, rides away, and then there's like a montage of him going through library books, and then he comes back to talk to Bilbo. And in the movie, you're like, oh, he just went to the library. And in the books, it's like, no, that was like 10 years.
Yeah. it was
a not insignificant amount of time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's
I mean, he got sidetracked. He had some laundry to do, and
it was a lot. Like, it was a lot of libraries that he went to read about. And then
and he had to get to every library on the back of a horse.
Well, and then he got stuck on the top of the tower. Had to get saved by whispered to the moth, and then he got saved by the eagles.
That happened in between there.
Well, no, I guess technically that's after he went back.
Wait, did I just correct you on some Lord of the Rings timeliney knowledge stuff?
Yeah, shut up. You can leave now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rum. Nerd over there left.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Just because you don't know your genre,
that's fighting words. We're having a feud now. We're feuding.
We're feuding.
Yeah.
Right. Just because your favorite nerd franchise has like people with bows and arrows. Just saying.
Apologize.
I'm not going to apologize. If all of the characters from your favorite nerd genre prepare for battle by going to a sporting goods store, I don't know.
I don't know why that reminded me. So, were you a Walking Dead fan?
No, zombies scare the shit out of me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That's like a weird trigger. I have to avoid it Vice thing because zombies just scare the fuck out of me.
Huh.
At some weird level of, it's weird. So I know it's really good, and a lot of people have talked about it, and they're like, you gotta get into it. Fucking zombies.
So last couple years of the show, it did get a little tired. But the interesting thing about it is they did a couple spinoffs.
They did like 3 spinoffs.
Well,
what are they,
recently?
Like Carpooling to The Walking Dead now?
No,
like how many fucking spinoffs do they have?
There was the one with Dixon leaving and going to Europe.
Oh,
and then there was
Dixon.
another one with Michonne, whatever. But here's what like
You're making up all of these people.
No. Michonne is like a real, like I've got the little sideshow figure for Michonne. It's a girl with the sword. She's a badass. One of the best. Anyway, Daryl Dixon was also one of my favorite characters, and he had his spinoff, and he ends up in fucking France.
Mm. I've been seeing a lot of commercials for that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like the show came out like a year or 2 years, whatever. It came out a while ago, and it was we're going to let you watch episode 1 for free, but if you want to watch the series, you have to get this special streaming platform, so you need another subscription. So you
it's exactly what Paramount did with Discovery.
Yeah.
Jerks.
But I don't know if just it didn't work for them this time. But now Daryl Dixon is on Netflix, and that's the whole thing. So so I rewatched the first episode last night, and I started watching the second episode, and it's pretty good so far.
Well, that's good.
It's interesting. But I was reminded because they're at this French convent, but of course, they're nuns that know that it's the end of the world and there's zombies everywhere. And they have an armory, and there's a couple guns, but it's a lot of old medieval crossbows and halberds and shit like that.
Yeah.
So when you were making fun, your franchise has bows and arrows, so does Walking Dead now. So,
okay.
Long way around to a little point, but there you go.
Yeah, so do the Avengers. I'm just saying.
Just because it's not a sonic screwdriver, dick.
Hey, you know what? I don't like the new sonic screwdriver. I like the So the old sonic screwdriver from like
That was kind of like in the general shape of a screwdriver.
it was in the general shape of a screwdriver, and it was used for like picking locks and like screwing and unscrewing things.
Yeah.
And
Now it's like it's a fucking razor.
No,
it's a razor phone.
They so the writers got rid of the sonic screwdriver in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Because they said it was a writing crutch for them. Like, oh, whenever something happened, like, pull the sonic screwdriver out and use it. So they got rid of it. They wrote it out of the story. It was killed. There's a whole death scene for it. Doctor teared up. It was a powerful scene.
You're emotional about a screwdriver.
Yeah, but
checks out.
So that's the old screwdriver dying. The Doctor Who, when they brought it back, 2005, Christopher Eccleston, and the moment I said, "Oh, I really hate I'm like, oh, he's got the screwdriver again. That's amazing!" And the minute I changed my tune, was it was a scene, God, episode 8, where it's the first one with Captain Jack Harkness. They're in the old World War II London.
Yeah.
And there's a thing where he's like, oh yeah, just set the screwdriver to like setting 3. It reattaches barbed wire. And I'm like, oh, you lost me. You just lost me. I no longer like the sonic screwdriver. And ever since then, it kind of morphed into like a tricorder.
Yeah.
And
now it's made by DeWalt and has all these attachments.
Its biggest functionality as a tool is really a crutch for the writers to just link together these divergent story. How the hell are we going to get out of this one? Fuck it, screwdriver, it welds the barbed wire back together. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. And the fact that it's not like this tool, it's this random thing that every time the Doctor regenerates, so does the screwdriver.
Well,
Or it's like, like the new Doctor, you've just regenerated. What are you going to do? I'm going to get my kyber crystal and build my new sonic screwdriver.
Yeah, it's basically how it works.
Yeah.
You know. But I mean, the TARDIS regenerates, so it could regenerate him a new screwdriver. It's not gonna.
It's not gonna work. Where are you going?
I don't know.
The TARDIS makes a new screwdriver. It's not gonna just be the same.
It could absolutely make him a new screwdriver.
Hey, I have one of my dad's screwdrivers in my toolbox, but I also mostly own ones I bought.
That's also true. But then again, your house doesn't just gift you stuff. Your house also doesn't change.
Well, at the same time,
what is
like there's things in my house that I bought to assemble that came with a screwdriver. So things in my house gifted me screwdrivers.
I do have, I do have lots of IKEA furniture, little hex key things.
Right.
I got like a bucket of those fucking things. You know what? IKEA should release a piece of furniture that is just all of the little spare parts and tools that they use for assembly, where you just bolt them together and hey, here's a ratcheting chair.
So I like my favorite words are some assembly required. I like to assemble things, right? So
depends on my mood.
I actually went out and bought drill bits that are Allen wrench drill bits so that I can use my electric screwdriver. I've got the little Bosch. It's a screw gun, but it's not like a drill screw gun. It's just like, and I like that I can put the tip in there, and instead of using the little hand Allen wrench and hurt my face, it's a buzz these things together. Very happy. Anyway,
that's cool. Yeah.
So anyway, so we talked about a lot of things. One last thing I do want to mention, just because by the time we do another episode, it's really going to be old news. They canceled season 2 of Acolyte. I'm irritated. I'm unhappy about this.
I'm unhappy about it too, and I think they might. So you know how? What was all the series? There was The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka, and they all kind of crammed together. Like it was, you had to watch all of those as a block as it was given to you, because they all like tied in, and this did that, and like this didn't make any sense. Well, did you watch these other 3 shows that bled into it? Whatever. I really hope that Acolyte is gone, like Book of Boba Fett is gone, but guess what? Ahsoka's there to pick up the torch, and they do some bullshit like that where they kind of 3-card Monty media to the Star Wars fans, and there's the rest of that.
Well, yeah, but here's my problem. You and I were talking about it yesterday. We have another friend, and they're like, "Yeah, I was watching it, but what about this? Oh, that was from Clone Wars." Or what about this? And that was, I did a little bit of research on it after we had that conversation. Apparently, the Nielsen ratings.
Yeah, that's still a thing. That's still out.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, they can measure them a lot different because before you had to like subscribe and get this like little carrier box that would track what you're watching, but now they can just do that digitally. And it's interesting. The first 3 or 4 episodes had really good viewership, and then it kind of drew back. But then the finale was huge. But here's my problem. When and I look at this and I think, yeah, you gave in to the hate and the neckbeards, as you kind of refer to them. You gave into this and you canceled the show. But I think a lot of the show's failures actually came from this attack campaign online, and not because of the show itself. Like the real fans that watch and consume a lot of stuff. I think there was a lot of complaints from people who only play the video games or only saw the original trilogies, and they didn't get all this extra content. And it's the trickiness of once you have all this content that ties together, that if people pick and choose and they watch some of it, then they miss details that explain the things they're complaining about. Mm-hmm. But in this particular case, when now Star Wars is in panic mode, Disney's in panic mode about this, and like, oh, we're not going to do this. And they got Skeleton Crew coming up, right? Mm-hmm. They got Andor Season 2, but really Andor Season 2 is the only well-received thing that's out there. There's the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's going to come, and presumably have another season after that to wrap things up in that storyline. But at some point, the bad side of what they're doing right now is they're telling some fans that you can complain away a show. And other fans, they're saying, they're not saying, hey, you should really go back and watch this other content. It's fantastic. And I don't think enough of us fans are doing that. Like, how many of our friends who are like adult male, and you're like, no, go watch this cartoon. And they're like, I don't watch cartoon. Like, how many times have we had that conversation?
A lot.
So my concern is that, hey, here's this show, and it's a little experimental, and we're going to try something. We're not going to, like, the fans aren't going to let this thing develop and come into its own. But the fans that do care, now I'm at this thing where I'm kind of pushed back on my heels going, I like this, but am I going to get a second season out of it? Do I really want to get emotionally involved in a show that, if these ridiculous fricking, I live in my mom's basement, I have a Hot Pocket, and I'm a keyboard warrior, are these people going to kill this franchise, this world?
A Hot Pocket keyboard warrior.
Yeah, and like, are these guys going to really, really have the power and authority to kill this and destroy, like... By the end of that season, it was a great fucking story, and I was excited about what was coming.
It was a great story at the beginning of it. It's just, that's how stories work. They build. And if you're not going to go on the building journey, like if you're just looking for that, that Candy Crush TikTok instant gratification, like, why isn't this fucking amazing right now? Do you not see where it's going? We have 8 episodes for this to let them develop a story. Oh my God. Although I will say, one of my favorite online fan bullying campaigns that I fully backed and was successful, getting Sony to change Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
They're like, you drew this cartoon and figure wrong. Go back and change it. And then they did.
Yeah.
Like this. Okay.
A little bit different than this, but like
little.
for me,
that was positive. That was positive bullying. I mean, this is negative bullying.
Look around this room. Clearly, I'm a Star Wars fanatic, and the thing for me is now I get to question falling in love with a series because I do understand so many nuances of the content, and is like, okay, now we just have to dumb this down for the fucking mouth breathers, and I'm pissed. I'm really pissed that there are so many there's so many stories that are left up in the air that we're never going to get to learn. What was that dude in the cave? Right? What was him? We're like, what's gonna like?
That was almost confirmed that was Darth Plagueis.
Well,
we're not gonna see it now, unless you see it in whatever the sequel series might be.
Well, and the Yoda cameo.
Yeah. Like
all of these things, like we just won't know now. So, to all of you, I'm a badass because I can speak with anonymity from a keyboard. Fuck you.
Yeah,
and I'm done.
Yeah, get a podcast like the rest of us.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, thanks. You mentioned him earlier, but we can never go an episode without talking about our true love for Dave Martin.
DemoDavePro.com.
I love you.
He's hooking us up with some production work.
Yeah.
Like legit scripted. Hey,
Doing some VO.
yeah, we need some stuff read.
I actually met a person out at Spruce Creek, the flying community. This woman's she does a lot of keynote speaking.
Yeah,
and she's starting a podcast about women empowerment. And sounds amazing. And I'm like, here's my card. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you figure out how to like get into this. They want to do video podcasting, which we don't do yet, but she was great.
So anything but that.
Yeah. But one thing I did say is like, hey, like I got a voiceover guy, Demo Dave, and he's great. So hopefully I can introduce them and he can help her out.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, good people helping good people, and I love that. Anyway, don't forget to check us out at our website, rumandnerdy.com. That's A&D, nerdy.com.
Social medias, we are at rumandnerdy, also A&D.
Absolutely. You can contact us via email at show@rumandnerdy.com. We'd love to hear from you. We're behind responding. I know we've got that composer. We've got a lot of things like episodes that we want to do. We want to get the composer guy on. We got to get Diego in. He bought us this rum.
Yeah, because I've been looking at this very, very colorful bottle of really good-looking rum this whole time, and
it's a good story behind it.
Every time I'm like, dude, we should drink this, and you're like, we're waiting for Diego. Yeah.
I want to do it with Diego.
No, that's good.
That's a great story.
I support that decision, but
he cheese muled that rum back to us from Colombia or something.
It's got a wax seal on it. That's fucking.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's coming up, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Duty-free partners of Colombia. Look at that. Holy shit.
And I still got to do that. The top secret. I have a challenge for you, but I want a guest for that because I want you to compete against somebody with that.
Okay. Well, we'll get
Diego
on.
Might
get
be
on your
right.
horse. I'm sorry. I'm looking at that hit Diego's rum, and on top of the fact, this is really Colombian. You're not allowed to drink it if you're under 18.
Huh.
Like that's how you know that's some good rum.
Yeah. Yeah, only
Sorry.
cheap rum for those under 18, I guess, but in Colombia. Things happen. Anyway, that I checks a couple boxes. That's what's coming up. We're working on some really cool stuff. But for now...
stay nerdy, my friends.
It's not the size of a boat that counts. It's the motion in my UFO. It's the chemistry in the abduction. It's the thrusting and the pumping. It's not the size of a boat that counts. It's the motion in my UFO. When you enter my ship and the gear looks small, remember, one size fits all. Earthling girl, take a little trip with me. More than just a tip with me. Come inside my ship with me. Earthling girl, I saw you walking down below. Underneath my UFO, you made my lunar crystal glow. And now I'll never let you go. Baby, once you taste great, you'll never be the same. It's not the size of a boat that counts. It's the motion in my UFO. It's the chemistry in the abduction. It's the thrusting and the pumping. It's not the size of a boat that counts. It's the motion in my UFO. When you enter my ship and the gear looks small, remember, one size fits all.
I borrowed it from Quagmire. He's not home because he got abducted by aliens last night.
So do you guys just not do the anal probe anymore? Is that...
No, that's more or less been retired.
I see. Do you still have the thing?